Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It's time to look at the Radiance announcements for November. And there is a very special announcement as well because they have something of a surprise coming for us. Now, you may already have seen this. If not, we'll go through it just now. Coming November 2025, we have transmission video distribution. Radiance Films announces a new Blu-ray and 4K UHD imprint transmission. First title, Night of the Juggler, coming in November 17th in 4K UHD. New imprint will focus on revitalising left-of-the-dial cult classics with new 4K restorations, newly commissioned special features, and limited edition packaging. So yesterday, Radiance announced the launch of Transmission. It's inspired by late-night TV oddities, all-night cinemas such as the Scala and 42nd Street Grindhouse, and the video shop experience of the 80s and 90s. Transmission will invite new audiences to recapture the same thrill of discovery with this upcoming slate of left-of-the-dial UHD and Blu-ray titles. So we're going to look at Night of the Juggler. So I just want to cover Transmission and get your thoughts on what do you think of this new idea. I'm all for it, particularly with that first announcement that I think is an incredibly strong one. You know, Night of the Juggler is a title that I have heard about. I have wanted to see. I saw that Kino were releasing it and I was tempted. Glad I held off because we now have Night of the Juggler UHD and Blu-ray limited edition. Let's just see. A young girl is kidnapped in broad daylight in Central Park by a murderous psychopath who plans to demand a huge ransom for her return, mistakenly believing she is the daughter of a wealthy property developer. Unfortunately for him, she's actually the daughter of Sean Boyd, a devoted dad and grizzled ex-cop who will stop at absolutely nothing to get her back, even if it means taking out the kidnapper, his enemies in the NYPD, and the entire scuzzy underworld populating the mean streets of 70s New York. Adapted from a novel by William P. McGivern and directed by Sidney J. Fury. Yes, love Fury. Night of the Juggler is a relentless, adrenaline-packed crime thriller, combining staggering action-packed chase sequences, incredible photography of the mean streets of 70s New York at its peak of its notorious Fear City era, and the superlative cast of supporting character actors. It's a 4K scan from a 35mm camera negative. We've got a 4K UHD and Blu-ray presentation, 5.1 surround mix lossless 2.0, audio commentary with Kim Newman and Sean Hogan. We've got a new interview with James Brolin, new interview with actress Julie Carmen, and we have a new interview with actor Dan Helia. The Meanest Streets Night of the Juggler, locations tour with journalist and filmmaker Michael Gingold, and production associate Chris Coles. Welcome to Fear City, new visual essay on the depiction of New York in the 70s and 80s exploitation cinema by Howard S. Berger. I love the idea of New York in the 70s and 80s. I love seeing movies that are set there. That is an extra that jumps out at me. Pandemonium Reflex, an inquest into Sidney J. Fury's Night of the Juggler. New visual essay on Fury by Daniel Kramer, author of Sidney J. Fury, Life and Films. There's a trailer, stills and poster gallery, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, reversible sleeve featuring original artwork, pull-out poster and 6 lobby card style postcards, 40-page booklet, and it's limited to 5,000 copies. And of course, add any 3 of the 4 November releases and get a 10% discount. And this is a pricey month, so you really kind of want that 10% discount. Night of the Juggler is essential. Cannot wait to see this new range. Next up here we have the Ogre of Athens. Despite his best efforts, shy and modest bank clerk Thomas struggles to fit in with the pace of modern life. On New Year's Eve, a comedy of errors ensues, and Thomas is mistaken for the Ogre, a notorious criminal mastermind who rules the streets of Athens. Suddenly, men respect him, and women are interested in him. It's all he ever wanted. However, everything comes with a price, and Thomas is soon found out of his depth when his unwitting white lie unravels. Rich with physical comedy and sharp social commentary, this satirical crime drama was a commercial disaster on release and is now considered to be a true classic of modern Greek cinema. I love when you get these movies that just failed completely. It's usually at a time where people weren't ready for that kind of film. So, with Radiance releasing it, I am kind of curious. We get high-def digital transfer, uncompressed mono PCM audio, new introduction from Jonathan Franzen, new interview with critic Christina Newland, new interview with Greek film expert Dimitris Papanikoulou, new improved English subtitle translation, reversible sleeve, limited edition booklet, and is limited to 2,500 copies. Now we're in the proper Radiance titles. These things get more interesting as they go along. So next up we have Wicked Games, 3 films by Robert Hossein. A prison break, femme fatales and genre-defining western. Robert Hossein, Rififi, was both behind and in front of the camera one of French cinema's great unsung stylists. 3 of his finest genre exploits are collected here. In a hard penitentiary, 2 prisoners fight off the rumour that one of them denounced a recently executed inmate. With their fellow convicts at their throats, they join forces and escape. Along the way, they hole up in a remote beach cabin where they take the angel-faced occupant as their hostage while they figure out their next move. The featured debut of Hossein, The Wicked Go to Hell, was adapted from the novel by celebrated crime writer Frédéric Dard, a prison escape film that spins into a fatalistic noir oozing with atmosphere from its striking compositions and explosions of violence. On an evening stroll, Pierre is invited into a white car by a female voice. Upon getting in, he finds a nude blonde with her face obscured by shadow. After sharing an intimate moment, Pierre tries to get to know her, but she produces a revolver and orders him to leave. Astonished by the events, Pierre determines to find the woman and trace the car to an address where 2 blonde sisters live. One who claims to never go out and the other who is paralysed. Following his explosive debut, Hossein reteams with celebrated crime writer Frédéric Dard for this sultry mystery evoking Hitchcock and classic noir. In a Latin American country ruled by a dictator, revolutionary leader Perez holds up a train to kidnap the dictator's daughter to trade her for captured revolutionaries. Perez takes her across dangerous terrain with his 2 lieutenants, Jamco and Chico. But the bounty on her head is high, and compatriots may be easily tempted to switch sides. Anticipating later Zapata westerns that focus on revolution like Bullet for the General and The Wild Bunch, The Taste of Violence is one of the most visually striking Euro-westerns, bearing resemblance to work by Akira Kurosawa. 2K restorations by Gallant on each film, presented on 3 discs. Original uncompressed mono audio for each disc. Audio commentary on each film by Tim Lucas. Picking Strawberries, a newly created making-of featurette. Behind Masked Eyes, The Cinematic Stare of Robert Hossein, a newly created feature by Howard S. Berger. Interview with actor Marina Vladi. The Evolution of Femme Fatale in Classic French Cinema, a visual essay by Sam Deegan. The Taste of Violence, an appreciation by filmmaker and Western authority Alex Cox. Woohoo! I love Cox whenever he's on a disc. He is terrific. One of those voices in cinema and critique culture who just makes you sit up and pay attention. Reversible sleeve, limited edition booklet, and it's limited to 3,000 copies. I love these kind of sets. I'm all in for these films. I love the clean design of the covers on the discs. They're just cool looking. On to the biggest release this month, and the biggest release that Radiance have ever done. And I'm completely oblivious to this. We have Radical Japan, Cinema and State, 9 films by Nagisa Oshiami. Radical Japan Cinema and State, the start of an ongoing series. This first volume of Radical Japan explores the films of new wave icon Nagisa Oshiyami, one of the most vital, challenging and admired bodies of work in cinema history. This box set presents Blu-ray premieres of Oshima's finest features across 7 discs. In The Catch, a village in World War II is shaken by the capture of a pilot. In Death on Hanging, a failed execution throws the justice system into disarray. Diary of a Shinjuku Thief strikingly captures Tokyo's 60s counterculture. Boy is a vivid portrait of a man surviving through scams. The Man Who Left His Will on Film, Oshima's reaction to the protest movement. The Ceremony, a meditation on how traditions oppress the young. And Dear Summer Sister, which questions Japan's colonial relation to Okinawa. We have 4 restorations of Death by Hanging, Diary of a Shinjuku Thief, Boy, The Man Who Left His Will on Film, and The Ceremony. High-def digital transfers of The Catch and Dear Summer Sister. Uncompressed mono PCM audio, audio commentaries by Sam Deegan on Death by Hanging, Tony Raines on Diary of a Shinjuku Thief, and Jasper Sharp on The Ceremony. Introductions and appreciations of the films by historians, archival interviews with Oshima, interviews with actors, we've got interviews with critics, extensive interview with Tony Raines on Oshima's life, Young Boy's Diary, Oshima's short film about street children in Seoul, 100 Years of Japanese Cinema, Oshima's documentary celebrating the centenary of cinema, Japanese Cinema New Territories, a documentary by Hubert Nigret, new improved English subtitles, reversible sleeve, limited edition 160-page book, and it's limited to 5,000 copies. This looks incredible, and to be the first of like a series with this many films in it is just jaw-dropping. It is genuinely jaw-dropping. It is a huge edition, and it's something I guarantee will go fast. It just feels like one of those things that's just going to go super quick. I'm oblivious of the director. I'm going to know the director after seeing all these films, which I think is just terrific. I think it's like a standout release. This is one of the best months that Radiance have had in the longest while. And that's saying something, considering that every month they release some great films. Radical Japan, incredible. Wicked Games sounds terrific. The Ogre of Athens sounds really kind of fun. Night of the Juggler is right up my street and is something I need to get. This is incredible announcements. What do you think of this? Are you as shocked as I am by the quality, by some of the releases here? It's going to be a busy month, November. It's going to be an expensive month, but it's going to be fun sitting watching all of these films. I would love to know what jumps out for you. What is the big release that makes you sit up, pay attention and say, I need that in my collection? Let me know in the comment box below. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.